Hi Sagittarius, this is Angel Aura Divination, and I'm here to give the sign of Sagittarius their June 2021 Tarotscope. If you are a longtime listener of this channel by chance, I suggest going to listen to my collective reading because it will give you some information about changes that I've made to my YouTube channel as well as my plans moving forward. And that reading will also be going over the energies that I'm talking about in this reading right here that you are already tuned into, because I use that as a collective message. Sorry for the shifting, but I just started recording almost immediately after I sat down. Yeah, so I did make a couple of changes, but a lot of that's gone over in the collective reading video, and I don't really want to reiterate it in case any of you do go watch that video, which I really would appreciate. But this is the June 2021 Tarotscope for Sagittarius. I'm using the Energy Oracle cards to give me the overall energies for your June 2021 time period. And then I'm going to be using the Universal Tarot to give you the explanations of the cards on an energetic level. And that's really about it. So I'm just going to get into the reading now. Let's start. They're going to have 3 cards for Sagittarius. Okay, so I'm not taking any of those because they all jumped out. I'm taking this one though. So I have 1, 2, let's do one more card for Sagittarius, please. Oh, we got 2. I'm taking this one, it landed up right. This one will be at the bottom of the deck. I like that. Okay, so the first energy oracle card that we have for you for June is the 4th chakra Archangel Raphael, and this is a 38 resonating with a, what is that, master number 11 reducing down to 2. So this could be about unions, especially. The 4th chakra is the heart chakra. So you could be really connecting with others right now through your heart space, through the way that you love yourself, and even through the way that you express love for others. The heart space is more than just about love, though. It's also about the flowing of energy, is what they're saying. That's like kind of a download, because I did not, like, you know, it's about the flowing of energy as well. And it's on, you might be feeling an easier flow right now, which would be really interesting because Mercury is in retrograde, so you would think that the things would be kind of disrupted as far as like the flow of energy between individuals, especially on a communication level, but you might be feeling that a little differently. I don't know actually what sign Mercury is in right now while it is in retrograde, but I don't think that really matters. I would suggest looking that up if it's something that you're interested in. I do see that you might be having a deeper interest in astrology, and that would be something that you might want to pursue. You could also possibly have a deeper interest in astral travel or connecting to higher guides that might like to help you do that. You might even be traveling during dream state, and you might dream of being in different places around that you've been before, or places that you've dreamt of before, and that might be your version of traveling as well, because a lot of people do astral travel in their dreams instead of choosing to do it consciously. I think that this is a very calm and easygoing time period for you right now. And they're saying if you want to, you could even focus on healing the heart space or the heart chakra, especially utilizing green stones, green crystals, eating green foods, not only vegetables, but also foods that are colored green possibly as well, depending on what they are. I always notice that when I need some heart chakra healing, that I eat a lot of sweets, especially chocolate. And I'm not a huge chocolate lover, so for me, that's something where I'm just kind of like, wow, I really like chocolate. Right now, I notice that I'm eating a lot of chocolate, and then I'm like, oh, okay, maybe this is something about the heart chakra. And that's, for me, it's a lot of personal, mental work when I deal with that. But for some of you, it might be something else. So I would say look into that if that's something that you're interested in, for sure. Let's get some tarot cards out to kind of talk about the 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael. Now I'm thinking of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Anything else for the 4th chakra? you might want to focus on protecting the heart chakra. That's what I'm really getting when I'm with that specific download. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they're all turtles in the shell, you know? And it's like, even though they're going around the town, they're fighting, you know, fighting bad guys and doing the things that they're doing, fighting crime, they're still always protected by their outer shell. So that might be something that you're also dealing with or that you're going through right now. But that's only a possibility. You know, if you also notice, the shell of the turtle covers all of the lower chakras after you pass the throat, if you were going to look at the turtle as a human body up and down like that. Anyway, the first two tarot cards that we have out is the King of Swords and the King of Wands, which would be an indication to me that yes, you do have things that you are manifesting that you might need to protect right now. You are on guard about something. With the King of Swords here, there is something that needs to be protected. You're utilizing your logic, but you're also utilizing that part of your brain that makes things that you probably would be using in this reading. That's what they're saying. That makes things work. Like you're using your brain to work harder to understand what's going on around you right now, and instead of transforming your internal thoughts like the King of Swords can do, you're transforming the thoughts provoked by situations outside of you, which to me is really intuitive. So it's kind of like you might be seeing symbols right now, and you might be utilizing those symbols to try and understand the universe around you, which is definitely intuition. And I would also say that you might even be experiencing like times when you're communicating with others, or even if you're like, you know, watching content on social media or even on TV or, you know, through the internet or whatever. And it's like somebody will say, I don't know, the frog crossed the street. And for you, you'll hear somebody say, oh, that's a frog. I've been thinking about frogs, or I was thinking about frogs earlier. And then you'll look that up. What do frogs mean spiritually? What do frogs symbolize? Stuff like that. And that's part of it as well. For you, it seems like this heart chakra protection, heart chakra healing that you're doing right now might even be giving you an intuitive upgrade in that area, which might benefit you. And that's really what's being emphasized here. With the King of Wands, this is indicating that you are connecting to the universe at a higher level than many others. You are mastering your manifestation right now, whether you are actively manifesting or passively manifesting, as I like to say, where you're just kind of taking actions in your life and you're open to whatever it is that's going to happen for you next. And in this aspect, you are also protected spiritually, where you're protecting yourself mentally through cutting words, cutting conversations with the King of Swords here, but you also are protecting yourself spiritually with the King of Wands here through possibly connecting to your guides, prayer, things like that. If you do any kind of altar work, that would be emphasized here as well. You are at a master level when it comes to spirituality in that way. And that doesn't, and you know, when you see both of the kings here, I don't want you to be dismayed, because especially even if you're a feminine, it would be even more emphasized that you are being very protective and also being very protected. And the next two cards that we have out are both major arcana signifier cards depicting strong feminine characteristics. We have the Empress and we have Justice here. So there are things that do need to be protected in this energy. And there are things that do need to be protected in this energy, things that you've built up and things that you also would like to uphold, whether you know about them or not, on a conscious level. So if you are dealing with any spiritual protection and you're praying for things to be protected, or, you know, if you're getting downloads about things where you're kind of like, you know, should I really be worried about this? Should I really be focused on this? Sometimes the intuition is going to lead you into the spiritual work that you need to do. And that's what really also is being emphasized here. And connecting with your fourth chakra, your heart chakra, might benefit you with your intuition, because connecting to the heart, connecting to the emotional center will also connect you to the intuitive center of yourself. With the Empress here, I want to say that you might even have things that are very abundant and very okay. And okay, that's interesting. So you have a lot of abundance that you need to protect, or this is also possibly what you're manifesting, abundance within yourself, or possibly even abundance with another. I see, because I do see relationships here, but I do want to say that, you know, you might even be protecting certain aspects of the manifestations that you have, because you know that even if the things that you are manifesting don't necessarily come to fruition in the 3D, in the mundane level of your life, you're still going to be having those, you're still going to have some aspects of what it is you manifest. So, you know, you're really shooting for the stars, and you're with these manifestations that you're having, and I think that that's great. And when you move forward, it will only benefit you, because you might just land with the moon. You know what I mean? It's that energy where it's kind of like shoot for the moon, you'll end up, or is it, yeah, shoot for the moon, you'll end up among the stars. But it's really, oh, I don't know who said that. I want to say Winston Churchill, but I don't think that's true. Anyway, what? Anyway, yeah, but that's the point. That's what I'm saying, though. Is like you're going above and beyond with, especially if you're doing a lot of mental manifestation, and that's great. And you're going to get a lot of what they're like, it's about 85% accurate. So it's like you're going, even if you only get the bulk or part of what it is you're manifesting, you're still going to get a lot. You're still going to have good things. And so this might even have you feeling tight-lipped around other people right now, but that doesn't mean that you have to stop the flow of communication or stop the flow of an emotional connection that you might have, especially with romance, because I see that there might even be an individual around you that might, like, you might be manifesting a relationship, or you might be in a relationship as well, with the King of Wands and the King of Swords here being the more masculine individual of the situation, and the Justice and the Empress being the more feminine individual, where both of you are very logical, both of you are very logical people. But beyond that, there is a sense of abundance and go-getterness. One of you, you know, and it's almost like a hunter-gatherer relationship with the Queen of, with the Empress, the Queen of all queens, who, you know, the Empress sits still. She's pregnant. She sits at home with the abundance. She protects the home. She is like, you know, that, like, oh, barefoot and pregnant is what I'm hearing. And then with the King of Wands, it's kind of like it's like a hunter-gatherer relationship, where he is the hunter and he is the hunter and she's the gatherer. She gathers the abundance, she keeps it all, and she keeps it all at home, and he goes out and does the hunt. And this also could even be something that's happening on a manifestation level, where between you and your person, one of you is manifesting for the home, and one of you is manifesting abundance or something like that. Or it could be that one of you is even manifesting more actively at the home or in the home for some reason, and the other one is actually obtaining the things that are going to be brought in for some reason. I'm not sure exactly how that might resonate with everyone, but that is just one download that I'm getting for you. So, okay, didn't even get a chance to ask. And so I did mention the moon. When you shoot for the moon, you'll land among the stars. I did say that, and the moon is here. So there are aspects of things that are happening around you right now, especially when it comes to communication or relationships, especially if you're not in one, that you are unaware of. There are individuals around you that might be loyal to you that you are not aware of. There are people around you supporting you that you're not necessarily aware of. And that is always a blessing, because you'll start to notice that when you have good things happen to you, there will be people who might come up to you and even say, I was praying for you, or I was hoping that you make it through this tough time. And you know, sometimes that might land you feeling a little egoic and angry, because it's like, I was going through this tough time and you didn't tell me that you were worried about me when I was actually suffering or actually struggling. But then you look back and you're like, well, this person was praying for me, and maybe that gave me the spiritual, maybe that gave me the spiritual strength. Maybe that gave me some spiritual protection, that this person wasn't in my face trying to tell me that my life wasn't going as well as they had hoped. You know, it's that kind of energy. And that's what I'm really getting with the moon. It's not that there are any negative secrets around you. It's that the secrets that are being kept from you are secrets that are positive. And maybe this is even something along the lines of, there are positive aspects to what it is you're manifesting that are coming to fruition that you're not seeing yet, because if you got it too early, you wouldn't appreciate it, which is also something that I am understanding instinctually to just tell you. Practice gratitude. Be grateful for the things that you have right now, so that when you work for the things that you want for the future, you'll be able to be grateful for what it is you have and then add on top of it instead of having to replace it. The next two cards that we have out for the fourth chakra Archangel Raphael is the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Cups. So I do see, if you are looking for a relationship or hoping for a relationship, although there is this open energy for you to communicate with others around you that might have personal feelings for you, There might be a new beginning in communication with some of those people. There might even be a new beginning in communication about some of these emotions that others are feeling about you right now, if you are trying to manifest a relationship specifically. I also think, though, that there is this aspect to the flow of communication right now that might even be causing new friendships, new relationships, new possibly even work opportunities, where it's like you start to develop more of a community around yourself that will benefit you in the long term, whether you see that at this time or not. And that's what I'm seeing with the Seven of Cups as well. It's kind of like you don't know. It's because Seven of Cups talks about opportunities. It talks about connections, emotional connections. It talks about possibilities and options a lot of times as well. But it's like you don't know what's behind door number 1 or door number 2 or door number 3 until you take the chance and take the opportunity. And and the guidance with the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Cups is that there might be a new beginning behind one of these doors, and you're just not taking the new beginning yet. But that doesn't mean that you can't be grateful in this moment that you even have options, and then work off of that potential at a later time when you're more prepared. There's a strong flow of energy between you, but you're still needing to be protected, especially if you're actively manifesting for the future at this time. And what that means is that if you have hopes and dreams, don't go and run and tell everybody about your hopes and dreams before they come to fruition, because what other people have to say about it is going to cause you to feel like you need to protect things before they actually come into you, which might prevent them from happening because it'll change your mindset about it. So the next energy oracle card that we have is the Healer of Ages. It's Healer of the Ages, I mean, which is a 51, resonating with the energy vibration of 6. 6 is all about divine healing. 6 is all about unconditional love. 6 is all about balance. Because I see 3 as, when in the aspect of relationships, I see it as you, me, and the universe. You, your partner, and the space between you, which is the universe in my perspective. And then when you think about the 6, that can be about divine unions, because it would be, coming together when it's from a personal perspective. As an individual, 3 would represent me, myself, and I. And that would be different on a spiritual level. That would be different aspects of the self. It's me, my higher self, and then myself in theory. You know what I mean? Which would also be a part of your higher self as well, but not completely. That's a different concept. It's what people think of you, what you think of you, and then who you actually are. And so 6 could also be a representation of you coming into union with another individual who has that same aspect. And that's interesting that I'm talking about a Trinity 3 when this resonates with 6. And this is a depiction of an ancient healer. You know what I mean? Someone who has healed the heart space, who has opened up to the creative energies of the universe, someone who can connect to higher realms to heal the energies of others, possibly even. So if you are a spiritualist right now, or if you are on a journey of learning about healing energies and about how you can benefit the collective, or how you could even benefit people on the individual level with healing, you are being guided towards this when you heal your heart chakra, as you develop and expand in that area of your life and understand the connection to the flow of energy between individuals, especially. Excuse me. With the Healer of Ages, let's get some tarot cards out to talk about that. You might be really focused on purity right now. This energy might also be really leading people to you, or attracting people to you, because you're a light. And think of it, they're saying it's like a light. It's like flies to a street light, or moths to a street light. It's a street lamp kind of energy, because they said the first card that came out for you is the Page of Cups, and they wanted me to focus on it. He has the fires around him, his hands are glowing, his heart is glowing, his brain is glowing, and then the Page of Cups comes out, and it's like, hey, I have a cup for you. Hey, my emotions are abundant for you. Hey, I might even have a resource, a job opportunity, an apology, a situation that would involve the emotional part of you entertaining the emotional part of me. Even though I'm immature, the Page of Cups is very immature. This person still has something that they would like to be reciprocated with you. This person might even be a Pisces, possibly. Just looking at the card a little deeper, you might have somebody around you that has a Pisces placement, or you might even have a Pisces placement, because the Healer of Ages reminds me of Jesus, and Jesus is all about the age of Pisces. So, you might even have a Pisces placement, and somebody and that's what's really being emphasized with this Page of Cups, is that somebody sees a lot of themselves in you, and they want to offer something to you because of that. And it might even be something where it's kind of like you wouldn't traditionally or normally be attracted to somebody like that, or vice versa, where the person that's coming to try and get something from you or have a relationship with you or something like that isn't normally attracted to people like you, but because you're so healed on an energetic level, you vibrate together. And that's interesting as well. It's always interesting to see how those relationships turn out, because the most unlikely pairs can be made in that way. We have the Three of Wands coming out for the Healer of Ages, and you might even, they're saying you might even travel the world trying to heal other people spiritually or even physically. This might even be about the medical field, Sagittarius. Yeah. And it might even be some of those things like chiropractor work, or what acupuncture, massage therapy, that kind of stuff, Reiki healing, stuff like that, where you're traveling your own realm to help other people. You're traveling the world to help other people. You're traveling your country. You're just on the road. Maybe you're even, I don't know if this would apply, but I'm seeing the analogy of like somebody who works with professional sports teams and is like the sports trainer, or not the sports trainer, but the physical therapist that works with the trainers to kind of like, make sure everybody's in tip-top shape, which is partially about money, but also your focus as the person who is the, physical therapist, or who is like, the chiropractor or whatever, is to focus on their health, their bone health, their health with their muscles, stuff like that. So you might even be having an aspect of that right now going on with you. That might even be something that you're considering, is how am I going to help others with this teaching that I'm having right now, especially if you are going through some kind of training, schooling, or anything like that on a spiritual level, or in the 3D where you're like literally going to school, or literally training at a job or something. The next two cards that we have out is the Tower and the Ace of Pentacles. So, I think that people around you right now might be a little intimidated because they've seen that you've had a lot of loss, or maybe you're even intimidated to come up to people and try and heal them energetically, or even deal with other individuals around you energetically, because you've experienced a lot of loss. And so now you feel like you have something that you need to offer, but I sense an inferiority complex with the combination of the Tower and the Ace of Pentacles here, where it's like, I do have something to offer, and this is my gift from the universe to be able to heal other people or help other people on their journey to healing, is what they're saying. But I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my own energy or my own ability if I give to other people. And in that, is there really something to be afraid of? That's the question that's coming to mind. Is there really something to be afraid of? Let's ask the tarot. Is there something to be afraid of? The Seven of Wands is what came out. So to answer that question, is there something to be afraid of? Yes, in theory. And now what I'm really thinking about is, if you give to people your energy, whether that's, loving energy, healing energy, money, resources, abundance, as I like to call it, there is something that needs to be protected when you give to others unconditionally. You want to come from a space of unconditional love, but sometimes that becomes very giving to a fault. And at this time, it might be beneficial to protect yourself if people try to take action against you. But ultimately, to answer the question bluntly through the tarot, when I said, is there something to be afraid of? The Seven of Wands would say no, because the card would indicate a no from a yes or no standpoint. But there is something that you need to protect. And I think really what you genuinely need to protect is yourself. Take care of your own health before you run out and go take care of other people's health. Make sure that you're energetically protected, you're energetically healed before you go and make sure that somebody else is healed too. It's like it's like that what they say on the planes, you know, when you have a baby, put your own oxygen mask on before you help somebody else. And when it comes to energy healing, that's almost doubly as important from a spiritual perspective, because you can lose a lot of your own energy, and they said potency. So it's kind of like you might be able to go and help people heal or help people do the things that you need to do, but in the same vein, giving to a fault will cause a depletion of energy for you at this time, Sagittarius. And honestly, that's not really time sensitive. I think that would be continually true. With the Three of Wands, they're emphasizing travel here, because the next two cards that I have out is the Knight of Cups and the Four of Swords. They're emphasizing travel. This might be what you're actually manifesting right now, is healing your energy, is growing in your own energy, your energetic field, your auric field, to really be able to help other people on an energetic level, on a spiritual level, and even on the physical level. You might have something to offer, especially in the realm of, you know, healing. And the Four of Swords would be a continual message saying, yes, you do need to focus on healing yourself, and yes, you might be visually manifesting where you see something before it happens and then you take action to make sure that that's what happens for you. But at the same time, you need to focus on the flow of energy between you and other people, which is really what the fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael, was also talking about, where you need to understand that what I give to somebody else does not need to be reciprocated at the moment that I give it, but ultimately, am I receiving from the universe or from somebody else that I may or may not be giving to as well? Especially if you're doing something that you're not necessarily getting paid for. And you know, this could even be you doing tarot readings or something like that. What are the rewards that you get from helping the people around you? And how can you get what you give out in the same energetic level? What is the incentive for somebody to give something back to you when you've given so much of yourself energetically, in whatever it is that you do? And that's something to really think about here. Ultimately, you will be receiving a lot back from the universe regardless of what you do. This is cornucopia. This is an 11, a master number 11, reducing to 2, which means, you know, divine union, connection between you and the ultimate essence of the universe, as it is a singular essence. You know, for some people they call it God. There's a lot of other terms for it. You know, and this is you receiving the abundance, receiving all of the things that have to be offered. And this is also a transformation of the energy that you've put out, whether you've given it to others in a physical manner or in a spiritual manner, or even if you've just given somebody your mental energy by listening to what it is they have to say when they need somebody to vent to, or from trying to understand what it is that somebody's going through so that you can better help them in the relationship that you have with this individual or these individuals that you deal with. There is an energy of spiritual protection based on the fact that you have abundance coming towards you, and this abundance is also being protected because it's coming to you from the universe. Now that's a little different than if it's money coming into you because you did a service or you did some kind of job for somebody. And I think also that there is an essence of transformation if this is about the money that you get for a job or through a job, where you are really being called to put effort and energy into the things that happen around you, or put effort and energy into the things that you feel called to, you know, do, so that you can receive more, even in a job sense, where it's like if you were, you know, doing, especially they're saying freelance work. So if you were doing some kind of freelance work, then you could even do that, and you might start making more money, or you might start making higher tips if you work in the service industry and stuff like that. I don't feel like there's a lot of cards that really need to come out to explain cornucopia, but I am going to pull some cards from the tarot as well, just to get some more indications and some more confirmations for you before we get into the advice. So can I have some cards for cornucopia for Sagittarius, please? Anything for Sagittarius for cornucopia? We have one card. Let's see what it is. The World. Yeah, this is an indication to me that I do need to finish the reading at this point. So I'm going to talk about the advice from the World, though. A lot of abundance is coming into you. And this is really the end of the cycle. It's kind of like, you know, and this is really interesting to me because not all the readings are like played out this way. But it's kind of like when you focus on the flow of energy between you and other people and you start to pay attention to what it is you receive, your actions and behavior start to reflect the necessity that you see for boundaries. So it's like, I'm not going to put myself in a position where I'm going to give to somebody who I know is not going to give back to me, even if that is your job, you know. And that will be rewarded, because then you'll start to notice the patterns and the cycles around you where you are being too giving, you are being too open, you are being too expressive, and you'll start to speak up about some of those things. You'll start to be able to heal others, possibly even healing touch. And it's like, yes, I might be able to heal you by putting my hand on your shoulder. Yes, you know, in a metaphorical sense especially, but I'm not going to just do that because I know you. What am I going to get in return? You're going to start making more energetic returns from being able to discern when a situation might not necessarily serve you, which is really what the World is talking about. The World is the final major arcana card in the tarot, and it indicates the end of the cycle, but it also indicates the renewal of a new cycle for you, which will be, in an energetic sense, you literally getting the healing energy back that you've put out into the universe, especially if you're doing something like the tarot, or if you're doing something like spiritually helping people through different things like Reiki, or you're, you know, a guru of some kind, yoga, you know, there's a lot of different ways that you could really be helping people. And I did get the Sun out, the energy oracle card, the Sun, which is a 1, and this is a 111, an 1111, or it's an 11 and a 1 with cornucopia and the Sun, which would be a 111, which would also be the indication of a new beginning for you. If you are interested in the numerology of numerical synchronicities, that's the term, because I don't want to say another term that these might be referred to as. The Sun is an indication of that, just that energy of cycles. The Sun is also talking about that emotional abundance that you can receive through, you know, the give and take energy of spirituality with boundaries. That's what they said. And having that strong discernment about that as well. Utilizing your spiritual knowledge to not be so easily persuaded by others is what I'm really seeing in this card. And even though it might feel like you're holding yourself back, in essence, you'll also be setting yourself free from the chains and from the negative cycles that might have caused you to even learn some of these spiritual gifts, or learn about some of these spiritual gifts in the first place. I know with my own self that I learned a lot about my own spiritual gifts through personal isolation, not by choice in a lot of situations, but even then I started to learn more about myself, and that's what had me ending up here doing this at this moment. So that's all I have for you, Sagittarius, and I'll see you in your next reading. Goodbye.